And we are recording with my homie, my boyfriend, my husband, Mr. Hunter Cunning on Sunday, July 9th, 2023 at 3:04 p.m. Eastern Time. Hunter, how are you doing, sir?
Good. A little nervous, excited. I haven't been on. I ran a podcast to myself for a little while, but I've never been on someone else's podcast before, so it's a unique experience.
Yeah, they're I mean, for clarity, if I take a week off like I did, I still
Mm-hmm.
get I start to get nervous.
Totes.
Yeah, I've done 1,300 of these, man. If I take a week off, I'm like I don't sleep well the night before. I'm like, oh, I get on camera before, and then I have to talk to myself rationally. I'm like, what do you? I'm like, I just don't know. I hope they like. It's like it's
Can I
your
do this?
show. It's
What
in
am I gonna
your.
say?
It's like I'm nervous, and it's like it's in your apartment. You're
Yeah,
wearing sweatpants and slippers, and then I
right.
do one, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's just it's retarded. But yeah, no, I think everyone's nervous before they do them.
I believe it.
But I mean, you've been on the game stream before. But so one thing we talked about, I don't know, like a month ago or 2 months
Mm-hmm.
ago, whenever I was playing Tarkov, is not being a puppet to emotions, and we talked about
Yeah.
meditation and prayer and all that good stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
even just this past week, I took a couple days off meditating, and
Mm-hmm.
I meditated today, yesterday, and the day before. Just 20 minutes of really not even meditation, just sitting kind of Indian style on my bed,
Yeah.
just looking out the window, just letting the thoughts come,
Yep.
letting them go, and really just as they slow down and you just look outside, you see clouds, you look down, you see your hands and like a
Mm-hmm.
vein, and you're just sitting there and you just get quiet
Yeah.
and all the emotions. And here's the thing, both good and bad. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
for anxiety and depression. You also feel like happiness and excitement coming along. You also start to view those as fleeting. And whereas
Definitely.
normally we try to push away the bad ones and hold on to the good ones,
Right.
meditation's kind of it's odd in that it just you start to drop all of them. And I have to do it for my own mental health, my own
Yeah.
sanity.
Yeah.
Um, but I kind of want to hear your take on it. Your what you've gained from the talks you've gone through with the groups you're in.
Yeah. So, what you just described with meditation actually reminds me of my favorite scripture. Um, to be clear, I'm a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably not surprising to most people, but
Mm-hmm.
regardless, that's where I end up with a lot of the basis for um, just how I live life and what have you. And so, my favorite scripture is Psalm 37:4, and it reads as follows. This is from the Passion Translation. Find your delight and true pleasure in Yahweh, and he will give you what you desire the most. And that word delight actually can be alternatively translated to be soft or tender.
Mm.
So be soft and tender with God, and he will give you what it is that you desire. And that softness and tenderness is exactly what my meditation looks like. It is me quieting my mind, becoming still, engaging with the creator of the universe who I know loves me and has a plan for me and has good intentions and good desires toward me, and engaging with that space of infinite peace and infinite love, and using that as my source for the rest of my life.
I like that. I like that. I like the soft tenderness more than I
Hmm.
like the delight because
Yeah,
that's what it is. Is
it is.
it's dropping all of your guards and
Yes.
it's opening up to love and it's terrifying, right? Because in everyday life,
Hmm.
that's the antithesis of how you should, right? I mean,
Totally.
you're on the highway. I don't trust anyone. I double check, right?
Hmm.
I lock
Right.
the door and I make sure the security is on downstairs. Everything I do,
Hmm.
it's I triple record the podcast. I have
Hmm.
backups. Everything I do is really the antithesis of trust. But
Exactly.
it goes against all of our instincts.
Hmm.
And I think that's precisely why it's so important is
Hmm.
you let it all down and you let your fears known. You tell
Right.
God, what you're worried about. And just it
Yeah.
can be everything. It's World War III, my own demise, my own death. I'm
Yeah.
losing. I can't lose more people, but I know I will. That's just life.
Hmm.
It's how am I going to deal with this? I thought life would get better, and now I feel like it's getting worse.
Hmm.
And then to kind of have the balls to then say, and I would like for it to all be better.
Yeah.
That, in a sense, it takes humility, and then it almost takes courage to ask God for what you really want,
Yeah.
right?
And mhm,
Go on.
in that space of being soft and tender with him, what that is you're being vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
And you can apply that vulnerability with certain people in your life, but it obviously depends on if they're safe to be vulnerable with or not, right? And that requires some emotional maturity. Like I know, and this is not a knock on anyone in particular. I know that I probably couldn't do that vulnerability thing with people in my family, right?
Mm,
I have friends where I've built those relationships where I know that I can be open and honest with them. I know that, you and I joke around a lot. I know if I wanted to, I could be vulnerable with you, Tom.
hmm
And so in that space of developing that place of vulnerability, what you end up actually doing is you learn to sort of examine what's going through your mind more, um, in that space of finding peace and finding tranquility. You realize, oh, there's these things that are driving me all the time. There's these thoughts, these intrusive thoughts that are sort of guiding how it is that I think and where my mind goes during the day. And that's honestly what not being a slave to your emotions is all about. It's I have this awareness of what's going on internally, and that just because I feel those things doesn't mean that those are the actions I have to take, right?
mm,
Just because I have thoughts and feelings about what have you, I'm pissed off at commies, or I'm upset because my wife and I had an argument earlier, doesn't mean that owns who I am, right?
mm,
Doesn't mean that owns my actions. Um, and honestly, in finding that space of being able to examine those things, you find you find a couple things. One, you can find out oftentimes what the source of those things are, and it's oftentimes not simply just whatever happened, right? I'm not pissed off because my wife uh, did something that upset me. I'm pissed off because of this thing that happened to me when I was 13 years old and I
yeah.
was rejected by the blah 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 blah, right? And so in examining those emotions, and sometimes it has to be purposeful and intentional, not just passive examination. Um, but in examining those things, you can find the deeper root, right? It's like you're in like a forest grove, and there's all these branches and leaves kind of swaying around you, like my
hmm
logo, and what you end up doing is you follow the branch to the trunk and then to the roots, and
mm,
you determine, is this a tree that I want planted in the grove of my life or not? Is this
mm.
thought pattern, is this process something that brings me life, or is it something that I need to cut at the root?
And then the very process of discovery itself is beneficial.
Yeah,
It's not that it might serve ill to you,
yeah,
but identifying the ill serving tree
yeah,
itself is a positive experience.
absolutely, absolutely. In that same vein, you'll end up identifying like self-defense mechanisms,
Oh yeah.
and oftentimes you'll find like, oh, I do this thing when I'm pissed off because of this and this reason. And most people can be like, man, that thing's so horrible. I hate that I have that pattern. I hate that I go drink a whole fifth of whiskey whenever I'm pissed off at my boss. um, and oftentimes, that hatred, that desire of wanting to get rid of that thing can actually be a driver in and of itself,
hmm
right? Simply hating whatever it is that you don't like doing can turn into its own sort of negative manifestation in and of itself. So what I find is that it's helpful to sort of observe those things as like, oh, this is a self-defense mechanism. This was a way for my body to survive. This was a way for me to get through certain circumstances and be okay. But it's not a defense mechanism that I want to continue to engage with, right?
Mm.
It's a simple, oh, that isn't serving me anymore. Let me make different decisions. Rather than, man, I'm this stupid piece of shit who can't manage to handle my emotions. I get drunk all the time. No, it's I'm I'm working through it. I'm okay. I don't like that I drink, and it's a habit that isn't serving me anymore. And so I want to make different habits.
Mm. And those moments are the most peaceful moments.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, I view those all the time. Having lived with my parents between 2016 and 2021,
right.
and really just 2 years prior to that, and then most of those years just really being a fat, lazy, angry piece of shit. And I mean, truly,
I don't
and
know
then
anything about that.
it's not, and then I mean, trying again and again, and starting to climb up out of the ditch, then falling back in, and it was
Right.
just like it's like Sisyphus, just for 5 years, living
Yep.
with your parents for 5 years in your late 20s. That's a boot camp in itself,
Yep.
and like
That's Sisyphean is a good word.
yeah, and it is, and then with this podcast, this is the thing that actually started to get me out, because with the
Hmm.
podcast, I was like, well, I have to be well rested, so I can't have shit sleeping patterns.
Right.
I talk better, and I'm more focused when I meditate and work out beforehand. I got to be well read if I want to have on
Hmm.
these. So it's just all these things, and it led to me moving out of my apartment and getting the thing I finally wanted, and having more fun, and through the gaming stream now 2 years later, like building friends for the first time in close to a decade.
Yeah.
So every so what's the core of all of that was just this insane work ethic to
Yeah.
get out of where I was.
Yeah.
And it has, and it still is. But and I'm not going to drop it because I still have a long way to go.
Indeed.
I'm also now realizing, though, in July 2023, that I don't need that vessel of everyday activity as much as I did need it when I was in the ditch. And
Totally.
that when I wake up and I'm like, you're not working, you gotta that's a good anxiety, because I remember I used to question myself. I'd be talking to my therapist. I'd be like, I don't know why I always feel like this. And she'd be like, well,
Hmm.
you're 28 years old and you live with your parents. Like, it's probably a good thing to feel every day. And I'd be like, yeah, I mean, truth hurts. But now when I feel, I'm like, you got to get up, you got to work, you got to, run away from the fire, and I'll
Right.
have to slow down. I mean, I did it today, and I was like, podcast is cruising. Don't take your foot off the gas, but it's cruising. It's starting to
Yep.
make more money.
Yep.
It's growing every day. It's more subscribers, and it's growing. Like, you're losing weight. Like, you have better habits. You're saving money. You So when I feel that it starts to creep up, it's like, why aren't you working? Why aren't you working? I'm like,
Right.
that served us well.
Yes. That
And
was a helpful tool at the time.
but maybe bring it from 80 miles an hour back down to like 30, and
Sure.
just cruise. And it's, if you want to do 80, sure, go for it. And that can be fun in itself. But
Yeah. And there
if
are
it,
seasons for doing
yes,
80 miles an hour.
yeah, oh, certainly. And if a big news topic happens and you got to grab
Hmm.
these guests, like, yeah, man, there might be a couple nights where you're not sleeping enough because you got to get
Yep.
on the Dr. Malone, the Dr. McCauley, Charlie Duke, you're
Right.
up.
Yep.
Sure, seize that opportunity.
Right.
But if being in that 80-mile-an-hour mode is
Is
robbing
your
you of daily joy,
yeah.
you're freaking out, your self-hatred,
Yep.
hey man, that ain't, you gotta look at that, and you have to examine it and label it as the detrimental animal that it is. And
Yeah.
I'm working through that now. Like, this isn't some, like, I'm looking back and telling you about it.
Hmm.
I mean, I just took 5 days off.
Yeah.
And I'm coming out of the gates, first day back, like 3 episodes, then we're gonna do a gaming stream. And it's like, it's okay, like, okay, I get it, like, work hard, but I mean, I'm on track to do 400 episodes this year.
Yeah.
And even now, I'm like, that's 35 more than doing an episode a day. Like,
Hmm.
keep working hard, dude. But at the same time, like, take, if there was nothing wrong going on, then keep going for it. But
Yeah.
when I don't sleep well, when I'm constantly having panic attacks,
Hmm.
when I have to sit down and remind myself to like myself because my default is self-hatred, it's like, dog, you can't, it's living on the side of the street, you know, jerking off and telling everyone like, no, I got my crack addiction handled. It's fine. Like I like it. It's how I enjoy life. And it's like
Right.
there's a dead raccoon next to you that you clearly fucked to death. Like, what are you doing?
Recently, recently.
Recently. And it's like, no, man, you're not okay.
Yeah, no.
Right? If Elon
Yep.
Musk likes to rip a crack pipe every once in a while, you go, well, he's worth 1/3 of a trillion and his rockets are landing themselves. He makes it work, right? When you've got the fucking raccoon that's bleeding out next to you and the cops have their guns drawn and you're going, I'm fine. I'm fine. You're not fine. And
No,
that's kind of so I don't know where I'm going with this whole rant, Hunter. So I'm just
you're
gonna
good.
throw it back on your lap.
By all means.
Yeah.
And
Dead raccoon
actually,
crack pipe, go.
yeah, the raccoon crab pipe. So in that same vein of, having things that sort of drive you, I have found that there's a in reference to like sin and stuff like that in my faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have found that the driver for sin is often um, wanting to self-medicate, right? And I find that most people, when they struggle with some kind of addiction or something like that, or struggling with some kind of uh, vice, right, long term that affects their life, um, oftentimes it's a form of self-medication, right? They're choosing, they're struggling with some emotional weight that they don't know how to carry or manage well, and so therefore they pursue alternative means of sort of deadening that emotion, or distracting themselves from it, or feeling something positive instead. Um, and I know for me, for a long time, my chosen vice has been pornography and masturbation, right?
Sure.
And it's probably a really common one.
Yeah.
However, when I took those moments to examine what it was that I was thinking and feeling, I would literally ask myself out loud, and I would speak to my heart as if it was a person. I would say, Hunter's heart, why is it that I want to masturbate right now? Right?
Sure.
When I know that I don't want to, but I have that urge, that
Mm-hmm.
desire, and I know that I feel like shit afterwards, right? I would ask myself that question, and I would regularly hear an answer. Oh, I want to masturbate right now because I'm feeling lonely, or I'm feeling anxious, or I'm feeling
Sure.
rejected, you know? And when I would examine, okay, I'm feeling anxious. What am I feeling anxious about? Oh, it's XYZ ABC in the news, right? Or, oh, I'm, 31 years old, and I still don't have a job where I can take over the funds for my household. My wife is
Mm,
still the breadwinner, right?
mm,
Oh, I'm 31, and we don't have kids yet.
yeah.
And that anxiety can absolutely drive you to do stupid stuff. It can drive you to do a bunch of stuff. And if you let it live in the driver's seat, then that's that's how you end up blowing up your life. Emotions are helpful tools for gauging where you're at in life. They are terrible drivers, right? They make decent front seat navigators. They are horrible drivers.
And they're also they're also nice luxuries. It's a nice flavor of life. Like
Yeah.
looking out at a sunset on a summer day with some
Yep.
friends. There's nothing wrong with just basking in it. Like that's right. That's
Yeah.
part of enjoying this playground that God has given us. But no, dude, I know the pornography and masturbation thing, man. I mean, for 2 years after my brother died, it was just hardcore drugs and
Yeah.
and more drugs. But like,
And was there also more drugs?
there were drugs on top of the drugs. And though I genuinely look back and don't know how I didn't die. And like
Yeah.
that's terrifying. I say it lightly, but it's
A
also not.
reasonable question.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself though. Still never did coke. Did a bunch of drugs, but I knew enough. I was like,
Yeah.
that just looks like a black hole. I
Yeah.
was like that and like heroin. I stayed away from those. I was like, I'll walk the tightrope. But I was
Right.
like, I
This
don't
way
want to.
lies death.
I'm like that. Those I don't. I'm a pussy. I'm not doing that shit, man. I ain't doing that. I do the stuff that you look up and be like, all right, it's very difficult to die. But
Yeah.
no, and then for years after that, though, trying to get back in my life was very much so pornography and masturbation because I mean, you could feel it much like you can feel. I mean, like a drink. Like a
Yep.
drink takes away. You stop, worrying about stuff, and I guess it's fine if you're like on a plane or something, you hate flying. Sure. It's not maybe not good to use for anxiety all the time because if you drink and you're like, oh, I'm not worried about paying my rent anymore, it's like that's not good. But like,
Yeah, that's a problem.
but if it's a passing thing, like I remember the minute I found out my brother died, the first thing I did was pour a drink. It's like okay, that's probably fine. Like whatever.
That's a little reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. But like that. with pornography and masturbation, I mean, the dopamine rush immediately
Yeah.
is, oh, sure, no, I'm living at home with my parents. I'm a loser. My merch store isn't
Yep.
working. My writing isn't working. My Photoshop
Right.
isn't working, and it's just right there. And all of a sudden, you're not worried about it anymore. And you're not. You're. It's the same thing with overeating. Are you hungry, or do you are you distracting
Right.
from something?
Yep.
And man, I've been there, dude. And it's not. I would like to say my vice now of just being a workaholic. I would like to think it's maybe evolved a little past the pornography masturbation, which itself evolved a little past pills and drugs.
Yeah.
And so maybe it's an upward trend and it's getting better and I'm
Arguably.
identifying them more.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still the same root thing.
Yes.
Problem, I don't want to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Or even I don't want to take the responsibility of sitting with that problem and realizing it's actually not that bad,
Right.
which are, paying rent. That's a problem that you got to deal with. There's no rationalizing that. But then other problems like, well, I'm not working hard enough. It's like you've done 1,300 episodes in 3.5 years. Like,
Yeah.
sit with that and realize that you're doing fine.
Indeed.
Yeah, man, they're instant off ramps. You just
Right.
go, I don't want to deal with it. And then when you're finished, either jerking off or eating food or doing drugs, the problems are right back there. And now you
Mm-hmm.
just feel worse.
You do feel worse, right? And
Yeah.
that can often spiral. Like if you, I have had a number of days, not at all recently, but definitely in the past, where the shame of, oh man, this thing that I hate doing that I know is not a positive habit that I want to engage in, I just did it. Well, I'm a stupid piece of shit, and I
Yep.
hate, and
I'm
I'm
fucked. I'm
not
never
worth
gonna
it.
get
And
better.
yep,
Yeah.
and then that shame spiral will lead you to doing it again
Doing
20
it
minutes
again to
later,
escape the
half an hour.
feeling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm such a stupid drunk. How come I can't keep myself from, just getting wasted as you're currently drinking more to deaden the pain of the shame that you're actively feeling in that moment.
Hmm.
And so first of all, when you want to not allow emotions to drive who you are and to drive your decisions, stop the shame spiral. That's step one, right? Understand that you are a regular human being just like the fucking rest of us. You put on your pants or one leg at a time every day, just like everyone else, unless you're a
Mm-hmm.
woman, in which case you put on a dress.
What if you're
That
Dylan
was
Mulvaney?
Yeah, or if you're Dylan Mulvaney. But
You tuck
in
it
that
one ball at a time.
that was pretty good. Um, but in that
Well,
same vein, go ahead.
what's he dealing with? What is he hiding?
Those are questions I don't really feel like answering.
All right, fair enough. I was gonna say, I know we often write it off as just like mental illness, but I mean, if just kind of in the light of identifying all of this, I want, is it as
So,
simple as he wants money and fame?
I
Who know?
mean,
I don't know him. What happened to him when he was a kid?
if I had to guess, because that's really all I'm doing at that point, and
Yeah,
that's
sure.
partially why I didn't want to,
Yeah, sure. No, I got you. I
um,
got you.
if I'm just guessing, I would say he probably enjoys the fame. He
Mm,
probably enjoys the affirmation
yeah,
of whatever, you know, psychosis he engages in. He probably gets off on the haters too, because
sure,
that's like the whole engaging in wokeness stuff is a form of currency nowadays, right? So,
sure.
oh, you're being persecuted. That's
You're
money in the
good.
bank,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah,
Um, and so it's probably all of the above, and then amplify that with almost certainly drugs and influence and power. And I mean, it's a recipe for disaster being some kind of training influencer like that. So
sure. No, and we can because you're right. Neither of us know a fucking thing about that, so we'll steer away from it.
sure,
Plus he's scary, and I don't like him. But
yeah,
like,
I don't want to put my
yeah,
dick in that. So
yeah, no, me neither.
yeah.
But no, I mean, so then you have to imagine, do we jump from addiction to addiction, or can we actually get out of them in this lifetime? Like, can we escape the prison in this lifetime? And
Yeah.
I'd like to think we can. I mean, really, not even realizing it till 5 minutes ago when saying it, like, moving from like benzos to jerking off to being a workaholic, like
Hmm.
they're definitely getting like less intense and less detrimental. Like
Actively, yeah.
with I would think inarguably,
Yeah.
right? So that would stand a reason that the trajectory will be, though slow and painful, eventually kind of breaking free of the tethers.
Indeed. And to be clear, you can turn almost anything into a vice, right? You
Yeah.
can turn like working hard, somehow that's a vice, right? Well,
Yeah.
it is because of all the other negative side effects that it can have. So, I mean, you can turn fucking working out and fitness into a vice if you wanted
Yeah.
to, right? You can turn eating healthy into a vice if you so chose. So, it's not that I think there are certain behaviors that are sin, but that's not the point that I'm trying to make right now. It's not that these behaviors are sin and you're a dirty sinner and you need to quit. It's that these are there's an unhealthy balance in my life that I'm trying to manage, right?
Mm.
That I'm trying to right. And so in that in trying to sort of right those scales, right, to weigh things down reasonably, oftentimes you'll find that there's some kind of like almost like a hidden weight, right? It's like someone glued, an extra pound or two on the underside of one side of the scale, and it's not until you start examining what's going on internally that you realize, oh wait, there's that thing that's weighing down this
Mm.
side that makes me want to do this thing that I don't want to do. And I mentioned earlier, sort of talking to my heart and hearing a response and what have you, and I have found that the more that I have dialogued with it, because it's odd to describe, but it really ends up turning into a conversation
Oh,
if
sure.
you let it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I can actually ask my heart questions and find answers and hear things, and it'll point out things that I didn't realize that I was still carrying, or things that I was disappointed with in the past. There's this memory of, actually, I'm not going to get into that. That's
Sure.
all other conversation. But yeah, it's you can find certain things in the past, and then oftentimes I'll find that, and this is one of those things that I would recommend if you have the opportunity to do it with a therapist, because trying to guide yourself through this stuff is not easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have found that if I go to that memory or that place that negative thing happened and receive comfort in sort of like a um, not like a self insert, but like almost like a manifestation inside of that memory. Like, hey, my buddy Jim from growing up, this thing was happening. He came over and said, "Hey, it's gonna be okay, Hunter. Like you're gonna be all right. Like I know that you're feeling this pain right now, but like you're gonna pull through it. It's gonna be okay, buddy." Um, that receiving that comfort in that memory oftentimes will remove the negative effects that memory had.
Mm.
And it's kind of bizarre to think about, because it's like, okay, memories are basically almost completely manufactured by our brains at that point.
Yeah.
However, they can still drive our behaviors. So
Yes.
does that process, like, I've thought to myself a handful of times, like, oh, that process of changing memories and what have you, does that like delegitimize what it is that I'm remembering from my childhood or what have you? And I would have to answer no. Like, what is the point of that process? The point of that is to remove the negative influence that had, right? And so understanding this is what actually happened, but also creating a space where you can remove the negative influence that had. I mean, I argue that justifies the process. Um,
Absolutely.
that's probably a little esoteric, but forgive me.
No, 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 not at all. It's I mean, what's today? Sunday. I drove home from my parents on Wednesday, I think, and I was super bad anxiety and was just I mean like oh I literally was like I haven't been working and I haven't been working out and I haven't been dieting. It was just getting in my head and I came
Yeah.
home and like first thing I did was like I went to the gym and then it
Hmm.
came back like unpacked and like made my bed and started doing laundry and started answering emails
Hmm.
and it was just freaking out. And then I sat down to just sit with my thoughts and I thought about all the times in the past I've just been in this spot of I'm anxious now and it's just fucked
Hmm.
and this is how it is now. And
Yep.
every single time, every time, the thousands of times I've been in that spot, I always get out of it. And then there's always a moment at the end of the day where I go, we fucking got through to the other side. And
Yeah.
it's when I've, crawled out of the hole, when I've thrown away the alcohol and the fast food and I've cleaned the apartment and I've called my mom and I've meditated and prayed and showered and shaved and you'll never quite realize it, but it'll be you're just halfway through a gaming stream and you realize, oh wait, all those terrors are gone now. And you go, we got through it
We made it.
I was thinking to myself on Wednesday as I was meditating, while still in the shit mindset,
Yeah.
I was like, you've never failed to get out of it. And I think
Yeah.
that's what you're talking about. Is so instead of looking at these echoes of past anxiety attacks and going, oh, we're right back there, it's like, no,
Right.
every time you climb to
Right.
the top of the mountain and you see the sun and you feel the warmth of the sun, and you always get out of it.
Hmm.
And it didn't make the anxiety go away right away, but it did. I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and I was like, we're gonna get out of there. And so,
Yeah.
no, I
And
don't think that
that'll give
delegitimizes
you,
memories at all.
yeah, that'll give you that hope in that space where you can go, oh, I know that I'm going to be okay through this. I just have to get through this moment, right?
Yes, and hope is it is. I mean, despair is what leads to suicide. It will not get better. So
Literally.
why go through it?
Yeah.
Hope is, man. I retweeted that thing the other day, not saying that Peter Hotez was a satanic cannibal, but the thing about Andrew Carnegie and books. And like, dude, like working 3 jobs. I think he was making $2 a week. He was 11 years old, working 18 hours a day, literally underground.
Hmm.
And when he discovered like how to read, and then on Saturdays the local library would let you take a book out or something,
Hmm.
and you should really go and read. It's a short like Twitter thread, and it's
Yeah.
it's 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 all quotes from him. And he was like, through the black dungeon walls, the sunlight would shine, knowing that if I just got through this week on Saturday, I could go get a new book and learn all about, you know, Africa, or, odysseys across the ocean, or how to whittle. And no matter how bad the work got, or how tired I was, or how bad like home life was,
Hmm.
every Saturday I could go find a book. And to me, that's so much. It represents so much more than actually just like the joys of reading. But what it is it's the power of hope
Yeah.
to pull you through. I mean, really, like a lighthouse on a foggy night. Man,
Hmm.
it can pull you through the most terrifying. Doesn't make the terror go right away, but even like today, like I woke up, I didn't sleep well last night. I was working out and I was tired. And I had 3 podcasts today, and I got shit to do. And I was just like, what's going to be the best part of the day? And I was like, I'm gonna be finished with the podcast. They're gonna be finished uploading, and I'm gonna like sit back in my chair and like turn on the gaming stream and like, I don't know, start yelling slurs at Craig. And I was like, that's I love that.
Hmm.
And now the whole day, still a little anxious. I didn't sleep well last night. It's just pulling me
Tell me
towards
about
that
it.
light, right? But it's just pulling me towards that light. It's hope, no matter what the hope is, whether it's
Yeah.
reading or whether it's yelling at Craig on a live stream. Is it's still a light that pulls you towards it. And
Yeah.
to me, like, that is God. That is the
Yeah.
manifestation of God. Is fun. No matter how, if you find yourself in the darkness, like, be the light. Like, let darkness fear you.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going with that, but that's, I think, the power of and the importance of hope. And I know where I'm going with that. In meditation, in prayer, not only does it allow me to, like you said, have it, you quite literally, you have a dialogue with yourself.
Hmm.
And not only does it allow you to examine things and all that good stuff, I also found towards the end of these sessions, prayer, meditation, whatever, is once I've diagnosed like what's going on with me today, and the problems here and the vices there and all that good stuff, you get towards the end, and it's like when you get to the end of a book about like the history of aviation. Like the last
Hmm.
chapter will always be what lies around the future, and it's about hypersonics, whatever the fuck, right? That's kind of the end of the meditation. It's like, so you've dealt with everything, and then it's like, what lies ahead? And that to me is that's when your heart starts racing. You start going, oh, what does lie ahead? How,
Yeah.
how much better can it get? Like
Yeah.
what else can God surprise me with in
Hmm.
this magical simulation? And I mean, that's really how I get through most days, is
Yeah.
finding that spark of hope and going, we're gonna go towards that light.
Yeah. That's actually perfectly indicative of while you were talking, I thought of a scripture, and it said it was for the joy set before him that Christ endured the cross. I
Yes.
don't know. I don't know what the reference for that is, but um, having hope through those situations can actually be an incredibly helpful driver to getting through it. It's and exactly like what you said, when you engage with with despair is what drives suicide, right? When there
Mhm.
is only despair going forward, or the perception thereof, even if that's not actually true, it's simply the perception of that. Um, that is what drives people to suicide. But in that same space, we can have these negative processes or whatever, these negative experiences, these patterns that we continue to engage in, the anxiety, the overwork, etc. And oftentimes, if we remove those initiating like memories or those initiating experiences, like we remove the negative effects from them, that actually helps to allow us to no longer engage in those patterns, right?
Mm.
Workaholism is a pattern, right? Engaging in pornography and masturbation is a pattern. And when we remove the experience or a handful of experiences, that'll allow us to make better decisions going forward. Now, to be clear, what I'm posing right now is not sort of a magic bullet. Okay. I'm not saying, oh, if you just go to therapy and you deal with all your negative memories, that you'll all of a sudden be a normally functioning human being with no vices. That's not what I'm saying. You still have temptations, right? You still have uh, patterns in your mind. You still have brain ruts that have been built over time. Oh, I did this pattern over and over, and therefore it's something that is an easy to engage, process. I've heard it described when you engage in the same vice or the same thought process over and over. It's like your brain is digging ruts into the earth
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and
of your mind.
that's where the wheel just effortlessly gets locked in.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And so you still have those brain pathways that get created, and you still have to deal with those. Like you have a predisposition, right? You're what's it? It's like a predisposition to addiction or something like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
genetic. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I forget the term, but you still have that predisposition to whatever that is. So it's not smooth sailing from there. It's not a free process, um, but you can remove the initial influence at the very least. And then you get to decide from there. You get to influence your own life from there. I've heard that a good definition for masculinity is becoming a master of your own domain,
Mm.
right? Whatever it is that you see and purvey. I would argue that in that would be becoming a master of your emotions as well. And that's not like a simple tyrant. That's, I understand it. I know how to work with it. This is something I'm familiar with, and I can engage rather than
Mm.
simply control. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's mastering emotions would be so much easier if it really was just you got to be an iron fisted dictator.
Oh man, I wish.
Yeah, you could just send out your death squads, your secret police. You'd be like, just kill all the bad emotions. I don't give a shit. It's
Hmm.
not democratic. Like
Right.
you're in my kingdom. It's
Hmm.
not that at all. It is really it's back to prayer. It's
Yes.
it's vulnerability.
Hmm.
Total it's Judah. You're leaning with it.
Yes.
It's so it's so antithetical to just the brute force working, right?
Hmm.
That which I am such like a I'm so in favor of just like you've seen how I play Hitman. Kill
Yeah.
everyone. You can't miss the
Yes.
target if everyone on the level's dead. Like that's how I right. You've seen me play teardown.
Yeah.
You can't lose if there's no pixels left on the map. And you've
Right.
seen me do this for 10 hours a night for 10 days in a row. Like
Yep.
that is my it's very, very, very Joseph Stalin. Quantity is a quality all of in itself. Just kill it all. You can't lose. But your score
Yep.
was negative 10,000. But did I not get the target? Right? Did
Yep.
I not get the target? And like you can't do that with working
Your
with
internal world.
emotions and you cannot do that.
Yeah. It's odd too because you would think that you could. You would think, oh, I could just white knuckle
just
it enough. Right.
nope.
But in the end, because of the way that emotions apply in our brains, they're actually at like a baser level of our brains than logic is, right?
Yeah.
So like I forgive me, I'm not a doctor. I know that there are specific medical terms in regards to this, but like logic is in your prefrontal cortex and emotions are at some baser level towards
It's literally
lower in the
called the
brain.
rep. It's really called it's literally called the reptilian brain. It's the
Yeah,
core at all of it. Of it's like
right,
breathing, eating, fucking. It's in there.
right, right. And so it has a baser level than simple will, right? And so because of that, you can't just ham fist it, right?
Yeah.
You have to learn to work. Judo is a perfect example. I love that example so much because it's kind of what it is, right? You're moving with the ebb and the flow.
Yeah.
And in that, when you learn to engage on it, not from a simple place of control and what have you, but from a I'm working alongside myself. I'm partnering with myself in this process, right?
Yeah.
I understand that I have needs that I need to get met that are reasonable, and I can have them met in ways that don't provide detriment to myself,
Yeah.
right? uh, when you engage with that, that's how you I feel like that's what like most people are working towards. Like there's a common meme when it comes to like therapists and stuff like that, that oftentimes when people become therapists, it's because they're trying to solve their own shit, right?
Mm.
And they want to understand that stuff enough. I think that there'd be a dearth of therapists in the world if people simply understood that they can't they can't magic bullet this shit. It's not a simple piece of control, or if I just happen to have the Konami code up down down left
Yeah.
right, my internal world is fixed. Like there's a relationship here. It's almost like you're in relationship with yourself to some degree, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and then like even that's like a humbling experience.
Yeah,
You have enough of these false saviors throughout your life. This
right.
this pill will make you happy. Moving here
Yeah.
will make you happy. Dating
Oh
this girl will
man.
make you happy. Just do therapy, you'll be happy. Get this job,
Yeah.
you'll be and you realize them again and again and again that they don't work. And it's
Yep.
kind of depressing at first. And when I mean at first, I mean like I'm
Fucking tell me
52.
about it.
I
Jesus
mean like I
Christ.
would say like the vast majority of my 3 decades here. But you then do start to realize like but there are things that do work, and
Yeah.
it's the painful examination of your own mind, and every
Right.
day it's a little easier than the last,
Yep.
and you stop looking for the magic. It's like here's the example I use is like when I was at the University of Georgia. Downtown was like, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles from our house, and just 116 bars, I think, and 2 square miles. Batshit. Just you
Good
go
God.
wild. Oh yeah, you just blackout drunk, sorority girls throwing up on other sorority girls, eating Waffle House. It's just magical. It's just great, right? And every once in a while, it'd start raining, and every taxi would be in Uber. I don't know if Uber existed then. In the
Yeah.
entire because there's 30,000 students there, they'd just
Yeah.
all be taken, and there'd
Yep.
be the bars are closing. They're like, you got to get out. And so like we go stay at Waffle House till like 3, and then they'd kick you out. So you're sitting under like awnings and stuff because it's raining and there's no van coming. And when's the next one? And maybe 30 and you're shit faced and you just want to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And you just keep waiting for you like, well, when's the next one going to be? And eventually, and I would always hit this very well, after many nights of this experience of when it'd be raining or whatever, you'd finally start to develop where it'd be 2 a.m. The bars would close. It'd be raining, and people would be like, "Yeah, we're waiting for a taxi." And I would just tell myself, I'd be like, "It's gonna be 2 hours of here,
Mm-hmm.
or it's 20 minutes walking in the rain, and then you're home." And I would just like, without saying a word, I would just turn and start walking.
Yep.
And you look crazy, but you do it enough times that and also it's like there was this bridge where these like homeless people lived under, and like there's all these like stories of like girls walking home and they would get raped. So like I would also just be walking over the bridge and I would just start saying I'm a fucking rape you to homeless people under. I'd just be shit faced, and hey, I had like 10 more pounds of muscle then, and I'd be like I'm a
Sure.
fucking rape you, and I would just like keep walking. That's a whole other thing and whatever. But I would go. It's raining. I'm drunk. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Let's just get to it. And then you'd be home and you'd be in your bed. And that's kind of how I view the silver bullet is, well, maybe an Uber will show up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, well, maybe we should examine our own vices and what the root of them are.
Yeah.
That's walking home in the rain.
That it
Just
is.
start. The 20 minutes is going to pass.
Yep.
20 minutes, you can still be sitting here and have 10 more 20-minute units to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Or in 20 minutes, you can be in your bed. Or just whatever, eating cheese out of the fridge, fucking thrown up in the sink, whatever.
Yep.
You can just do that. And more often than not, I don't wait for the proverbial Uber to show up. I
Yeah.
just go, it's time to start walking in the rain.
Yeah.
And maybe you're gonna encounter some horny homeless people on the way home. You just got to be
Hmm.
hornier than them, and you got to look them in the eye and say, "I know I'm gonna fuck you to death." Right? You know, I'm drinking and I'm fucking tonight. I'm all out of liquor. Like, what are you doing, homeless guy? No, but with everything. So even this morning, I didn't sleep enough. I just want to roll over in bed. I just want to cancel on everyone.
Yep.
That's not going to make anything better. Let's get
Mm-mm.
up and let's go to the gym. I don't want to go to the gym. Shut up. Time's going to pass. And now
Hmm.
5 hours have passed. The time's passing no matter what.
Yep.
So I can either just be rolling out of bed now and go,
Right.
fuck, I canceled on everyone. I didn't go to the gym. Or it's been a rough day, but I'm feeling better. I'm like, you knocked
Right.
it all out of the park. You answered the emails. You made the thumbnails. You went to the gym. You did the work.
Yeah.
You cleaned and here we are.
Right.
The time's going to pass regardless.
That it
So
will.
just start walking in the rain. And I think that's applicable to so many things in life.
I agree. And I think that something that would be helpful, and this is probably a good thing to close off on. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll I'll say what I'll say and we'll go from there.
Sure.
But um I think that, in walking through that rain, sometimes it's helpful to have a map home. Sometimes you don't know where you're going. You just know
Sure.
that I just gotta keep walking, man.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
and so I think to kind of offer, a waterproof map home,
Mm,
um, I would propose some homework for anyone who's listening.
okay.
If what I had to say today resonated with you, if you're like, man, I have all this stuff that I don't want to do, that I wish I could figure out why it is that I'm doing it, I would like to know why. Start with this. Step one, get a notebook, whether it's on your like a physical notebook or like the notes app on your phone, something where you can take notes. Okay. Step two, the next time that you want to engage in whatever vice it is and you wish that you didn't, whether you are able to successfully resist or not, whether it's just the beginnings of that creeping feeling of, oh man, I'm going to masturbate today.
Mm-hmm.
I already know it. It's coming. It's just a matter of when, whether it's those creeping initial feelings or whether it's you're right about to. If you can manage to stop yourself, awesome. If not, that's okay.
Hmm.
You can continue moving on. However, examine what it is that you're feeling in that moment. If you have to, ask your heart literally out loud. What I will do is I will close my eyes, I will put my hand on my heart, and I will speak directly to my heart. I will say, Hunter's heart, what are you feeling right now? And I'll wait and listen and be quiet until I hear a response internally in my mind, right?
Hmm.
And whatever it is that you're feeling, and it has to be a feeling. It can't just be a jumble of thoughts. It has to be like, I'm feeling
Yep.
anxious, I'm feeling nervous, right? Some specific emotion. When you when you understand whatever that feeling is, write it down. Oh, today, Sunday, July 9th, 2023 at 1:52 p.m. Uh, I was feeling anxious. And then you go, okay, why was I feeling anxious? What was I feeling anxious about? And you can ask your heart that same question and take notes on what this stuff is. And you'll learn over time. If you do this as a process over time, every time you feel like you want to engage in something that you don't like, you start to identify this pattern. Oh, every time I feel anxious, I want to masturbate. Okay, what am I
Hmm.
feeling anxious about? Oh, it's this, that, right? And you'll hear specific things oftentimes. You'll hear specific memories or circumstances. And even if you are not successful in resisting beforehand, if it's afterwards, right? That's post nut clarity, right?
Hmm.
I did the thing. Now I feel like shit. At least engage in the after action report. Okay.
Get something out of it. Yes.
Yes, right. Okay, you failed. Cool. Do better, right? And this is how you do better. Take
Hmm.
notes. What is it that you're feeling? Why are you feeling that way? What is it specifically about? And then you'll find that, oh, actually, it turns out I have this pattern where every time I'm rejected by a girl, I want to go drink until I'm, blackout or whatever.
Hmm.
Or every time I have a shitty day at work, I feel this or whatever. Oh, okay. Well, then you can at least identify why it is that you start to engage in start to go down that road, start to walk down that rut in that brain pathway again.
Hmm.
And then you can at least become that much more aware of why you're doing it.
Yeah, at the very least, become aware of it.
Yep.
It's you might still fuck up. You might still
Yep.
fuck up every day, but at
Hmm.
least note it. And then you might note it once. You might note it 500 times.
Hmm.
But eventually it does tip over. And it might at
Hmm.
the 505th time you go, wait,
Yeah.
I know where this, and there will be a day. There will
Hmm.
be a day where you do successfully resist it. And
Yep.
then obviously you'll relapse, but the number of days that it takes until your next breaking free will get shorter and
Hmm.
shorter. But there will be a day where it dawns on you.
Yeah.
What am I
And
doing?
then you can become aware ahead of time, right? Like,
Yes.
oh, I'm feeling this way. Oh, I'm probably going to do this today. I should keep out and make sure that I'm not in a situation where I'm going to engage in that vice, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Or if you do engage in it, go, all right, well, it took me 500 days to not engage in it.
Yep.
Let's aim for 499.
Yep.
And
Yep.
chances are you'll do it in much less than that. But there will be a light moment where
Yes.
you realize, I don't mean like light in like the hope. Well, it is that, but it's lighthearted in that there will be a moment where you go, why am I going to do that? I know this
Hmm.
just leads to a bad place. And you'll go,
Yep.
I shouldn't do that. And you'll go,
Hmm.
how have I never thought about this before? Where you just go, let's not do this. But
Yeah.
it's the reality is you're standing on the shoulders of your last 500 days of mistakes. But
It's
there
the
is a
truth.
light moment where you go, wait, I know I have a bad day if I stay up late. What if
Right.
I just went to bed early? And you'll go,
Oh.
why have I never done that before? And you go, it's because you failed 500 days in a row, but you have filled up the
Yeah.
bucket so much that it's
Hmm.
finally coming over the edge. And you'll go,
That's the truth.
oh, and and then lastly, to kind of touch on what you said about walking home in the rain, that's a very important point. Is like right now, it's very much so like when I walk home in the rain. I know exactly where my
Hmm.
house is, know exactly where my bed is, and
Yep.
I can do this with my eyes closed.
Right.
But and I was there for 5 years. Sometimes you're walking home and you have no idea where your house is. And
Hmm.
you go, I've been walking not for 20 minutes, I've been walking for 20 months.
Yep.
Keep walking.
Yep.
And I can't tell you when you're going to find the home. It'll come to you I remember the day that I realized I'd been living at home for 1 year with my parents. I was like, man, if I had another year, I'd start crying. And
Yeah.
hey, spoiler alert, you had four more. And like, but one day I broke through.
Yep.
And now it's just a distant memory. You go, oh yeah, I did live with my parents for several years. And that it's just another thing. You go, oh, but don't
Hmm.
keep walking. You
Yep.
will eventually get to a place where you can sleep. So
Yep.
just keep going.
Amen.
Amen. Hunter, I love you. Thank you so much
I
for
love you.
coming on here.
It's a pleasure.
And you better be on the game stream tonight and we can yell at Craig.
I hope
Craig,
you rape him.
Craig, I'm a fucking rave you, dude. This, this, I am walking home from the bar drunk, Craig. It's in the rain, and I'm coming up on your bridge.
He's coming for those cheeks.
You better be ready, Craig, because I am. This is looking at you. People are watching this. They're like, "This is just such a beautiful ending," and now you're threatening someone named Craig with rape. You're right. I am. This isn't a joke. This is not metaphorical.
Listen,
Craig, Craig,
cake is not a joke. Cake
Craig,
is not a joke,
coming for
okay?
that cake, brother. Let them eat cake. Fucking call me Marie Antoinette because I'm coming for you, bitch. All right. All right, Hunter. Love you, dude. Thank you so
Have a good one,
much.
bro.
Guys, thank you
Pleasure.
for watching.